Good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's Committee of the Whole meeting. The meeting is called to order. Let the record show that all the aldermen, save for Alderman Sino, are present. Alderman Bruno is participating by phone, which is permitted under Illinois statute. Mr. Bruno is ill this evening. Mike, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine, thanks.
Great. When we go to a vote, Mike, if you could please identify yourself and then cast your vote accordingly, that would be great.
Will do.
Folks, without objection, I'd like to begin tonight's meeting with a brief moment of silence to honor the late Mayor Ed Crane, who served in office from 1981 to 1985. His service was held yesterday here in downtown Geneva. And I wanted to read to all of you, which I'm certain you're familiar with since we did broadcast this information via our e-newsletter. But Mr. Crane, as indicated, served as mayor from 1981 to 1985. Following his term as mayor, and this is pretty impressive, he took up what would become a lifelong commitment to the value of government and non-governmental organizations in maintaining a civil society, working for and in such organizations as Bosnia, Egypt, Iraq, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, Jamaica, Mali, Malawi, Moldova, and Montenegro. Incredible. In lieu of flowers, in lieu of any sort of gifts or sympathies to the family, the late mayor asked only the following: please practice civility, even in the face of great difference. Small world, he married a young lady from St. Petersburg, Russia, where my daughter and granddaughter and son-in-law live. And we struck up a brief friendship yesterday, and we're going to be actually visiting with them at the beginning of the year, so it'll be nice. So if I could just ask everyone just a brief moment of silence to honor the late Mayor Ed Crane, whose brother still resides here in Geneva, and whose 3 children, of course, are missing him dearly. Thank you very much. We have what appears to be a quick agenda. Let's see, huh?
Don't jinx it.
I just jinxed it. Item 2, approve committee of the whole minutes from November 14th, 2016, as so noted by Ms. Spinari's email this evening.
So
Corrected
moved.
that one vote. Alderman Singer makes the motion.
Second.
Alderman Marks makes the second. Items of business, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Excuse me.
Aye.
Bruno, aye. Thank you, Mike. Items of business, item 3A is to consider approval of certificate of acceptance for lots 1 through 5, block 66 and 5th and Campbell subdivision in Geneva, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Marks, seconded by Cummings. Any questions or comments? A voice vote is sufficient unless someone prefers a roll. A voice vote it is. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Bruno, aye.
Bruno, aye. Thank you, Mike. Item 3B is to consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of an electric easement agreement for distribution at lots 186 and 187 of the Fox River Woodlands.
So moved.
Motion by, I believe that was Simonian, seconded by Marks. Any questions or comments? We have our superintendent with us this evening. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Bruno, aye.
Bruno, aye. Anyone opposed? Item 3C is to consider draft ordinance amending Title 11 zoning, Section 11-2-2, related to the definition of the term, quote, cosmetic tattooing, end quote, and Section 11-68-2, 11-6C-2, 11-6D-2, 11-6E-2, 11-6F-2, 6G-2, and 11-7A-2. Permitted uses to expand the list of permitted uses in the B1, B2, B3, B3E, B4, and B5 business districts and the OR Office Research District to include cosmetic tattooing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Cummings, seconded by Marks. We had a nice executive summary provided to us by Mr. DeGroot. Of course, our applicants are with us as well this evening. Any questions or comments from the dais?
I just have one for David. I'm not opposed to this at all, but that definition is really pretty specific, which I like, but how do you enforce something like that? I mean, is the harder part, isn't it?
I guess we would have to do an inspection or have some kind of evidence provided that they weren't following
Right.
that definition.
Okay.
But we did work closely with the applicant.
Yeah, I like the definition, I think it's very good.
To prepare that, to make sure it was closely reflecting what they were doing, and we also surveyed definitions throughout the country to make sure it was consistent with cosmetic tattooing or permanent makeup.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Bruno, do you have any questions or comments?
I do. I'm not sure if I heard all the discussion there. I'm not sure with the inclusion of that language, the fact that we're including that that language would suggest that we have a way to recognize and police that language. Do we? Would this be complaint-based type enforcement if there were some violation of this and it was artistic or tattooing?
Yes, if there was any indication that they weren't operating as it's outlined in their occupancy permit, we would do an inspection on a complaint basis to enforce it. And we could revoke the occupancy if it's not, if the use was not reflecting what was submitted.
Did you hear that okay, Mr. Bruno?
I did hear that answer, yes, thank you.
Great. Anyone else from the dais regarding this item? Alderman Singer?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. David, was there a need for them to have permission to function in this capacity by the Kane County Board of Health, and certificates of any nature?
They are licensed through the health department that does an inspection on an annual basis. Kelly, I don't know if you want to speak more to that, but they are licensed by the state and inspected by the health department annually.
So it's almost similar to the way they're gonna be functioning as a hairdresser or such, is in the same capacity?
They're often kind of an accessory use to a salon.
Yeah.
But the reason for this text amendment is because they want to operate independently
Independently, okay,
as permanent makeup or cosmetic tattooing.
gotcha. Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Alderman Kilburg?
Well, what type of signage is anticipated for this business?
We haven't reviewed a sign plan for the property yet. The first step was to make sure it was a permitted use, so we haven't gotten to those stages. I don't know if you've prepared any plans for signage for the building?
I would like to put up a sign called permanent makeup and workshop, if that would be approved.
Yeah, I mean, we can't regulate the content of a sign. We can regulate the size and the height and
Understood. I
lighting,
just
but
was wondering if there were any plans or if they had any type of an idea as to how they might promote their business. And again, what did you say?
I would like to put up a sign that
Kelly, could you join us at the podium, please? And if you would indulge us in sharing your name and
my name is Kelly Hemrick, and my business, I'm calling it Permanent Makeup by Kelly, and that is the sign I would like to put up for my business. I'm also educating as well, not only doing the permanent makeup. This is why I would like to call it Permanent Makeup by Kelly Spa and Workshop.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Radecki?
Do you have an idea of what percentage of your clients will ask for this service? Out of 100 people, how many will?
Well, I can tell you, I've been doing this for many years. I learned it back in 1998, and the average clientele, I mostly have women that are of age between 40 to 60, that are mostly looking for eyebrows. Can I tell you percentage of, I can tell you that I have a consistent clientele base, and it's typically the average age of 40 to 60. If you could be a little more specific of what you're asking for, I'm not sure how I should answer what you're asking.
Well, I guess it's a cagey way of just asking you. You're not just going to be doing this type of work Is this primarily what you're going to do, or is this?
It is,
Okay, okay, so that is it, huh? It's permanent makeup is the,
correct, yes. So it's pigment, not ink. I'm only working with the face, and pigment is designed to fade. Unlike ink, the molecules are a little smaller because the face changes as we get a little older, and it's a more natural effect. And I'm using different tools. I'm not using a coil machine, so everything's a little different. It's more of a spa type of feel rather than a tattoo shop with the foil machines.
Thanks.
Alderman Bruno, do you have any questions or comments?
No questions at this point, thank you.
Anyone else on the dais? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Bru-
Alderman
Bruno,
Bruno?
aye.
Bruno, aye. This will be considered under the consent agenda on Monday evening, December the 5th. Same location. Okay? Thank you very much. Item 3D, folks, is to consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of a PACE subsidy agreement effective January the 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017, subject to the fiscal year 2017-2018 budget approval.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Cummings and seconded by Marks. The executive summary outlines the PACE grant of approximately $132,000. The city's portion would be approximately $32,000. Are there any additional questions or comments regarding this issue? Seeing none, hearing none. Alderman Bruno?
Bruno, aye.
Bruno takes the first vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Well done, Mike. Motion passes. We're at item 4, folks, new business. Is there any new business? Alderman Bruno, I'll defer to you first since you're under the weather and on the phone.
No questions, thanks.
Anyone from the dais? A motion to adjourn? would
Motion
be
to
in
adjourn.
order. Alderman Simonia makes the motion. Alderman Marks makes the second. All in favor of adjourning this meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Bruno?
Bruno, aye.
You should have said no, Mike. You're at home, man. It's like, the meeting is adjourned, folks.